everyone, following our videos on algebraic fractions, today we're going to do much harder examples, okay? So the first step will be the same, finding the same denominator, what is the lowest common multiple, and then we will be working out about the top numbers, okay? But as you can see, we have not only one top number in the fraction, and here we have a sum in here, okay? So it will be a bit harder, but you can do it. So let's start. First step, finding the common denominator. So the common denominator for 5 and 2 is 10, okay? We can simply multiply it. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10, and in this case, this is the lowest common multiple, okay? So we can use it. And as I said before, we need to follow the expression all the time. So the new denominator was this 10 plus 10. Okay, now we need to work out the top numbers and ask the question, what we did to 5 to get 10. Okay, so we had to multiply by 2, and now we need to multiply the top sum, not only just one number, not only 5x or 3, but the full sum multiplied by 2, okay? If the denominator was multiplied by 2, now we need to multiply the top sum by 2, okay? So, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2. Okay, and in this case, when you have a sum, we need to put it in a bracket, okay? So, 2 multiplied by 5x minus 3. Okay, then the next fraction, okay, what we did to get 5, so we had to multiply it by 5, and we have to multiply the full sum by 5, okay? So this is multiplied by 5, and this is multiplied by 5. And again, we need to use a bracket, okay? We don't multiply 5 by x, we need to multiply 5 by x minus 7, okay? So x minus 7, and this is the key thing in here, okay? You need to remember, we need to multiply the number by a bracket, the full sum, okay? So this is the next step. Okay, so we know what's on the top now, and we have brackets, and the next step is work out the brackets, okay? So following the next algebra rule we've met a few weeks ago, if we want to multiply a number by a bracket, we need to multiply this number by every single term in the bracket, okay? So 2 multiplied by 5x and 2 multiplied by minus 3, okay? So we have 2 by 5x is 10x, 2 multiplied by minus 3, remember it's minus 3, it's minus 6, and all over 10. Following our expression, plus, then we need to figure out the bracket and the second fraction, okay? So 5 multiplied by x and 5 multiplied by minus 7, okay? And this is 5x, and 5 by minus 7 is minus 35, all over 10, okay? And time for the next step. So we need to just simplify it. Simplify the top line. Okay, so we have 10x minus 6 plus 5x minus 35, and this is all over 10, okay? And now we need to remember our algebra rule. How can we simplify it? So we need to look at it, and do we have any like terms? And what are the like terms, okay? In this case, we have 10x and 5x. These are like terms, they have the same letter. And then we have constants, minus 6 and minus 35, okay? So 10x plus 5x, 15x, minus 6 and minus 35 minus 41, all over 10, okay? And this is the answer. So you need to follow the steps all the time. Find the common denominator, work out the top numbers, work out the brackets, and simplify the top line, okay? Okay, and this is the next question. And we have our 4 steps on the right, so we need to follow them all the time, okay? So let's start. First of all, we need to find the common denominator. What is 3 in this case? We have just one denominator in here. We don't have it here, but we need to make it as a fraction, okay? So the first fraction doesn't change. All over 3 minus, so we need to follow the expression. So this is minus, and you need to write down minus, and then 3x. How to write down 3x as a fraction with a denominator of 3, okay? So what goes to the top when we divide it by 3 will get 3x. Okay, so what divided by 3 gives you 3x. So this is 9x. Okay, when you divide 9 by 3, you will get 3x. So this is 9x divided by 3. Okay, now we need to work out the top line. Okay, so equals, so we have 3x minus 1 minus 9x. We don't have any brackets in here, we have the same denominator, so we can just simplify the top line, okay? So we have like terms in here. Remember, that's not 9x, it's minus 9x. So 3x minus 9x is minus 6x minus 1 divided by 3. Okay, that's it. Okay, and this is the last question, and we have 3 fractions in here. Follow the steps all the time. That's the tip, okay? So let's start. Now we have 3, 2, and 6 as the denominators. We need to find a common one. So the lowest common multiple for 2, 3, and 6 is 6. And the easiest way is to put one long line. Okay. We can do 3 lines and 3 fractions, but the best way and easiest way is to put one line and one denominator as 6, okay? Especially helpful when we have minuses as we have here, okay? So what we did to 2 to get 6? We had to multiply it by 3, so we need to multiply the top sum by 3 as well, okay? So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, and top sum multiplied by 3. So 3 multiplied by top sum. Remember, you need to put the bracket. You don't multiply 3 by 4x, you need to multiply 3 by every single term on the top, okay? Then we have minus, okay, so follow expression all the time. And then what did we do to 3 to get 6? So we had to multiply it by 2 this time, and we need to multiply by 2 the top. So 2 multiplied by 7x plus 12, and again minus, so minus, and the last fraction has 6 as a denominator, so nothing changes, so we leave it as it is. So just x minus 4, and we can use bracket in here as well, okay? It's really important to put the top sum in the bracket, especially when you have minuses in here, because then we need to change every single sign in the bracket, okay? It's like multiplied by 1, okay? 6 multiplied by 1 is 6, and then we need to multiply by 1 the top sum. So we can write down 1 in here, or we can just leave it as it is, but we need to put it in the bracket, okay? And now we need to go to step 3, so work out the brackets. So 3 multiplied by 4x and 3 multiplied by minus 3, okay? Don't forget the signs. So we have 6 on the bottom, and then 3 by 4 is 12x, 3 by minus 3 is minus 9, and then minus 2 by 7x and minus 2 by 12, okay? So minus 14x and minus 24, and then we have minus 1 by x and minus 1 by minus 4, okay? So it's minus x or minus 1x and plus 4, okay? So remember, minus multiplied by minus gives you plus. Minus multiplied by plus gives you minus. Okay? So we've met a few algebra rules a few weeks ago, but you need to remember them, okay, all the time. Everything is connected in maths, okay? So let's make it a bit smaller. And we can continue. So now we need to just simplify the top line, okay? So x's together and constants together. So we have 12x minus 14x and minus x. Okay, so it's minus 3x, and then we have minus 9, minus 24, and plus 4. Minus 29 all over 6. Okay, and this is our answer. So you need to follow the steps, and you will be grand. And remember all the rules we've met, okay? Don't forget to put top sums in the bracket as we did here, even if there is no number, okay? Especially when you have minus in front of the bracket. Okay, and summarizing and for learning check, just following the steps we have on the right, please try to do this expression, okay? So remember, you need to find the common denominator first, then work out the top sums, and then bracket, if you have one, and then simplify it. That's it, okay? So see you tomorrow.